mate. No worries at all. Yes. Oh, yeah, sweet. Got it. Okay, cool. Get something to stand my phone on, mate.
No, you're all right, bud. Beautiful. Big Keith Galloway, mate. Thank you for joining me on this chat, mate. Really appreciate your time, buddy. I know you're working hard. And you got family time as well. So, yeah, really appreciate you having a chat with me, mate.
No worries at all, mate. All good.
Just give you a bit of a rundown of what I do, mate. So the page is called NRL Fans WA. I started on Facebook and I go to local games, juniors, seniors, take videos and pictures and stuff. Share the club, all their local club stuff through the page, all the news, and also NRL stuff as well, so people are up to date with what's going on in the league.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Good stuff.
Yeah, so getting to your career, mate. You started off in 2003 with the Sharks, move on to the Tigers. More famous for playing with the Tigers than you are with the Sharks. And then you move on to Leeds, mate. But you also play a couple of games for City, play for New South Wales, and you get a couple of games for Australia, mate. Do you look back on your career and think, wow, I had an amazing career. I was able to achieve a lot?
To be honest, I probably do now, mate. I when I was playing, it probably all just came to me pretty quickly. But now that I've been out of the game and I've been retired for a few years, I look back and go, pretty proud of the longevity that I had and some of the sort of some of the rep jerseys and things like that, mate. So yeah, looking back at it, I'm pretty proud of it. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. With your career, mate, do you look back at it and go, did it help you define the person that you are today as a better person, father, businessman, or anything like that?
I think obviously with playing, that you sort of being a rugby league player probably instills a few good sort of what's the word, like we have to, there's certain days we have to be on time all the time. So I've pretty much never been late my whole life because that's part of every day. You can't be late at training, you can't be late to games, all that sort of stuff. So very punctual, things like that. And obviously you're played in a team environment for a long time, so things like that have probably things that I've sort of taken to where I am now, sort of thing.
Yeah, awesome. Absolutely. You get to represent New South Wales, and Australia, mate. How are those opportunities for you? Like, how did they make you feel?
Yeah, well, they sort of both happened in 2011. So, yeah, mate, it was quite a buzz at the time, as it would be. I got to play that last game for the Blues. Third game it was a decider, but Queensland, they just had that red hot team at the time, and we lost pretty convincingly, but at least I can say I got an Origin jersey, and the end of that year I went on a tour with all those there's probably a few future immortals in that that was in that squad, the Lockyers and Greg Inglis and Thurstons and Cameron Smiths and Cooper Cronks, all those sort of blokes. So yeah, it was quite
yeah, awesome, absolutely. What was your reasoning behind going to England to play? I mean, you ended up playing for Leeds, and you won the Super League Grand Final with them. What was the reasoning behind going over there?
Mate, it was probably something I thought I'd always wanted to do at some stage. I'd been over to England for the Australian schoolboys. We went over there, and then I went to the World Club Challenge with Tigers. So they won the grand final. I signed with them halfway through the year. They went to win the grand final, so they went over the next year, and I went over as 18th man, actually. So I've been over there a few times, and I'd sort of watched a bit of the Super League on TV and that. So I quite enjoyed it. Like, rugby league's in those sort of rugby league areas of the north of England. They're very passionate people. So, and Dad's Scottish. So I've always sort of had a British passport. So, the opportunity came up towards the end of my career, and I took it.
Yeah, beautiful, mate. I mean, that would have been a great place to go and finish off your career there. And like I said, you end up winning a Super League Grand Final. So, it's great that you end up getting that sort of thing as well.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I actually ruptured my Achilles, two Achilles. So I did one the first year, but came back the next year to play again, and I was playing pretty good. And then halfway through that season again, I did the other Achilles. So uh, yeah, mate. So it was probably the body telling me that your days are over playing footy. But yeah, the boys won the comp that year, so it was, even though I wasn't on the field, it was still good to sort of be a part of that environment and things like that. So
yeah, awesome. When you were a kid, mate, did you sort of have like an idol or someone that you looked up to? And if so, like what about them made you idolize them?
yeah, probably the Chief, Paul Harrigan. I wasn't a Newcastle fan. I was actually a St George Dragons fan because I grew up in the area. But just the way that Harrigan played, he's the enforcer. He'd always lead his team up. He wouldn't take crap off anyone, and he was just a big, aggressive human. So it was probably the Chief. Yeah.
Yeah, nice, absolutely. With your career, mate, maybe not just in your career, but in life in general, mate, has there been like a dark time, a depressive time that you've gone through? And if so, how did you get out of it?
Yeah, but there's been a few. I've been through a few tough things. Obviously, injuries always tough. I've gone through a divorce and things like that, so they're pretty tough. And you go from seeing your kids every day to not seeing them every day. But you just got to keep positive. You talk to people, and there's always brighter days ahead. And especially as us men, like we had that mentality when when you're younger, you think, oh, men are meant to just be tough, and you're just meant to tough it out. But you got to talk to people. It doesn't matter what issues you got. You always got to talk to people, and that's how I got through a lot of things, man.
Yeah, awesome. You sort of answered my next part of the question. Do you have any extra advice for people that are going through that sort of stuff as well?
Yeah, just probably just to surround yourself with good people. You lean on people, mate. You just should have good. If you got good mates, they should always be there by your side, family, and just lean on people, and always don't be afraid to talk to people about your issues. I've seen a therapist and stuff in the past, and it's helped me with a lot of things. So, and holds a big front row. So if I can do it, like anyone can do that sort of. You know what I mean? So.
Yep, absolutely, mate. Yeah, it's perfect advice. That is, especially with mental illness being a big thing these days, mate. Getting into the right environment, the right people around you, it helps a lot.
Like just it's blokes just bottle it up, and it just, the more you bottle up, and the less you just don't talk about it, and keeps building inside. It's mate. I've had heaps of mates that have gone through hard times, and it's unfortunately like one thing can lead to another, and you're better off just sort of seeking help as soon as you know you need help. So, and it's actually a man. It's to man up is to go and seek help. So things like that. So
yeah. With your career, mate, you were just talking about you signed with the Tigers halfway through the year, coming from the Sharks. How was it going from, especially halfway through a year, going from one team to the other?
Well, yeah. So 2005, I was coming off contract, and I was talking to a few clubs, and then I signed with the Tigers because they had a really good young squad. And then I signed with them halfway through the year, and then that year they ended up going on that massive run. And so I don't think anyone sort of expected them to win that comp that year when I signed with them. But so I went into that. So I finished a year at Sharks that year, and then I joined the Tigers the next year. So it was pretty cool going into that into a squad like that. But unfortunately, we did. It was a few years before we sort of tasted semi-final football again. So
yeah, you had a good partnership with Aaron Woods when you were at the Tigers as well, mate. How important is that for a front row pairing to have that sort of bond and friendship?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Well, you sort of, these sort of guys. People I don't know if people realise, like, you train with these. You go to training, you're with these guys. How many hours a day or in a week, and you play with them. You're playing games next to them on the weekend and things like that. So you spend a hell of a lot of time with your teammates. So you obviously got to gel, and it obviously helps on the field, but especially if you're good mates off it.
Yeah, absolutely. have you got any advice for kids these days coming up in life in general? You know, not just in sports. You know, maybe you do have advice from in sport, but just life in general. Kids these days seem to be going through a lot of mental health issues. All that sort of stuff. Do you have any advice for them?
Just to stay active. Keep fit, eat healthy. Whatever you do, keep going back to it. It's just talk to people. You know what I mean? Don't bottle things up. Don't turn to alcohol. Don't turn to drugs and crap like that. Just try and stay fit and try and do something healthy. And obviously, if you're not feeling well and things are getting on top of you mentally, then talk to someone. There's plenty of people out there. There's always people out there that care for you, care about you. So it doesn't matter who you are. There's always people there that care.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Was there when you were playing? Was there a certain club or team that you really wanted to, or even a player that you really wanted to play with when you saw your peak?
So this is a tricky question. I was pretty happy at the Tigers, to be honest. We had a period where I think 2009 to 2011, 12 we didn't go too well, but those years the Tigers, I loved it. We're sort of pushing for. I think twice we were a game off the grand final and things like that. So I don't think I ever really wanted to play for another team when I was there. I was pretty happy then, and to answer that question, no, there probably wasn't another team I wanted to play for.
Yeah. Well, you had a pretty good team. You had Tedesco at the back, Mitch Moses, Luke Brooks, yourself, Aaron Woods. You just had a pretty good squad around that time as well.
Yeah, well, that was sort of coming towards the end of my years at the Tigers, but they had all those good youngsters, and unfortunately, they didn't keep any of them. So, they probably could have probably been in a bit better shape than they are now if we kept most of those guys.
Yeah. What do you think about the Tigers? What do you think the Tigers' problem is at the moment?
Look, it's hard to sort of nail it. Every bloke out there is doing their best, and they're all trying their best, and the coaching staff's trying their best. It's just it's obviously we don't have too many rep plays. I don't know if we had any rep plays this year, but I think hopefully we're building. I think it's the Tigers. What they really need to do is focus on that on their juniors and just build from the ground up. Like that Campbelltown, Liverpool area is that's a massive growth area. It's a big rugby league area too. So I think we've just got to nail the kids, get the kids that grow up in those areas, because that's part of the West area. So if we can get those kids and get them to want to play for Tigers and get them through the junior ranks, and I think if we can do that, then the Tigers will be in better stead going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I think me personally, just watching obviously from afar, but it seems that their recruitment hasn't been the best. There seems to always be in-house fighting. Whether the reports are true or not, there always seems to be in-house fighting, and I think that sort of has filtered down to the players, where the players are, I guess, not feeling the love that they need at the club.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, mate. I don't read into too much what you sort of hear in the media, because I'd played the game, and some of the crap that the media comes up with is, it's false and fabricated. So, but there's definitely something not right there. So hopefully it's hopefully next year's a better year for the long-suffering Tigers fans.
Yeah. Do you think Madge is the right person taking forward, or do you?
Look, I haven't played under Madge. I might have met him once or twice. He's like a really nice guy, so I'm not too sure. He's obviously had success at Wigan and South, so he's obviously got the runs on the board. So hopefully he's there next year. Hopefully the boys buy into it and they can have a really good year.
Yeah. Well, did you happen to read Joey Leilua's comments recently?
So I think I've seen something on Instagram or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you make of his sort of comments about the club, like sort of having a swipe on the way out?
Look, that's his business. I'm not going to criticise him or the club. He's his own man. So it's probably not. It's not something I'll do. But if he's his own man, so if he wants to do that, then you know what I mean.
Yeah.
we grew up in the same area, so he's a nice bloke. So I wasn't at the Tigers when he was there. Obviously, I've been out of the club for about, I don't know, six years or something now. So I'm not too sure what's happened, but yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, fair enough, mate. With this 17th team that's just coming, the Dolphins. Obviously, the NRL's not going to want a 17th team or 17 teams in the comp for long. What do you reckon Perth's chances of getting the 18th license would be?
Perth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon it'd be awesome, mate. Mate, it would be good for, that's on that side of the country, so it'd really grow the game. I know there's a bit of rugby league interest. There's a local comp and that sort of stuff over there. So I think if they really want to grow the game in Australia, that would be the place to go.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like me personally, I mean, I think, it's a perfect spot to do it. I've talked to like Nigel Vungana and all those sort of guys, and, they were saying that, Wellington's not the place to go yet.
Yeah.
I was talking to Peter Ryan, he said that Ipswich, Toowoomba sort of area, he reckons that a team out there would be next best. I think too many teams in Brisbane would probably be a detriment to the comp.
Yeah, the thing is, like Sydney, obviously we've got that many teams here, but we're a massive city, obviously. But
yeah,
I couldn't, like Brisbane. I couldn't see another team getting the Broncos brand, even though they haven't been that strong the past sort of couple of years. Whatever, that brand's massive. It seems like every person in Brisbane goes for the Broncos, unless you're someone from Sydney that's moved up there or things like that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, like also the support that's over here for the game. We've seen a couple of years ago with the State of Origin, that was here, 60,000 people in AFL dominated place, and it's going to happen again this year when they have game 2 here. It's going to be packed out. So I personally know that the support's here. Hence why I'm doing this page and trying to get all these chats done.
I'd love to see a an NRL team over there in Perth. It would have been cool when I was playing, but going over there. No, I've never been to Perth, so it would have been cool to get over there. But
yeah, right. If you ever come over these ways, mate, drop me a message and we'll catch up, show you around.
Sounds good.
Yeah. What are you doing post career, mate? What have you been up to these days?
I'd actually work on the wharfs here in Sydney. So so I've been there for about 3.5 years now. Just the big shipping terminal. So it's all right, mate. It's not a bad job. Bit of shift work on that, but pretty cruisy job. Close to home. So
yeah, nice. Have you got any business interests, mate, that you want to sort of plug out there or anything like that?
No, I've never really been too business minded, which is probably not a great thing, but yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Just cruising, man.
Yeah, wicked. How much kids have you got? You and you're talking about ex-wife before. Your new partner, how many kids have you got, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh no, so I've got 2 kids with my ex-wife, so
yep.
I'll share them. They're actually here now, so they're asleep. They're only 5 and 7. So, no, they're cool, man. So spend a fair bit of time with them, which is good.
Yeah.
And I think it's going good, mate. I've got a girlfriend and things, so things are going well.
Yeah, nice. Oh, I'm a father of 12, mate. So
12.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Wow, good on you, man.
Yeah. So I've got 10 that live in the house, and we got 12 kids between me and my partner. We got 12 kids. So
wow, awesome.
Yeah. It's a hectic household, mate. And, they all want to. My 3 boys that I've got to a previous relationship, since coming to live with us, they've just turned into rugby league nuts.
Yeah.
And me doing this sort of stuff, talking to people like yourself, they're able to see that, rugby league is a big community, and it stretches from here to, around the world in a sense.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Good on you.
Yeah, well, cheers. Is there any sort of aspirations to get into coaching or anything like that, or do you coach juniors or anything like that?
Mate, I was never really a footy head when I played. So like when I played, obviously, but I'd never really watched many footy games on TV. When I was younger, I used to, but once I started playing, I trained, I played, and if there was other games on the weekend, I wouldn't really watch them. I don't watch too much now, to be honest. So obviously with a coach, you've got to live and breathe the rugby league, and you know what I mean. So probably not that, but I've got a son and a daughter. My 7-year-old, he's playing soccer at the moment, but if he ever wanted to get into rugby league, I'd help out just for fun and things like that. But I don't know if I'd probably help out. I don't know how good it goes as a coach,
Big intimidating man on the sidelines, mate. Though.
Yeah, nah.
That's it, mate. Now I've lost my question. So when you were playing, mate, what was sort of, for the kids that are going to watch this later on, what was sort of your routine on a daily basis? Being a top flight NRL player.
Yep. It's sort of like during the week or on game day, or?
Yeah, during the week, mate. Your training schedules and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So obviously pre-season, which probably the boys are going through now, that's very intense. It'd probably be, I think it used to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday and Tuesday, like pretty tough. Wednesday would be like a light session, or you get maybe a morning swim or something. Then you go hard Tuesday and Thursday again, and occasionally Saturday morning session. So all pre-season, like leading up to Christmas and a little bit after Christmas, you're just getting flogged. It's very intense. You're pretty much you're setting the building blocks for the season. So I don't miss the pre-season at all. Like you feel good, you feel fit and strong after it, but mate, it was tough, as you know. Like you'd come home from training, you're exhausted. So, but then obviously when you're playing, you might say if you played a game on a Friday night, Saturday morning you might do like a swim session or something like that. You'd probably get Sunday off, and then you'd come back into training Monday, maybe something light, and then maybe something a bit tougher on a Tuesday. But then as you're just pretty much trying to get the body right to for the next game, sort of thing, during the season. So if you got a week, like if you got a long turnaround, you played Friday night, then next game's not till Sunday, you might get a bit more training in. But obviously towards the end of my career, because I was a bit older, the niggles and the injuries, if you're carrying that sort of stuff, you're pretty much trying to get the body right for the next game. So yeah.
Right. Was there lots of weight sessions like for yourself? Your front row sort of guys. Was there lots of weight sessions involved during the week as well?
Yeah, especially in pre-season. Obviously, pre-season you're not having the impact that you have from game day. Obviously, you always start the season feeling awesome and things like that. But as the season goes on, mate, you carry injuries. I don't think anyone's playing at 100% body wise. From about half the season on, you're always carrying something niggly. But definitely in pre-season, mate, that's where you'd be hitting the gym pretty hard, because you're not getting those massive knocks from the games and things. So
yeah, nice, mate. That's really all I've got for you tonight. I really appreciate your time. I know you're just been at work, mate, and you come in to jump on the interview with me. Mate, I know that it's huge that you've done it after work, mate. So I really appreciate your time, buddy.
No worries at all, mate. It's good to see that you're over there in Perth too, mate, trying to grow the game. So hopefully the game keeps growing over there, mate. We can see an NRL team there one day.
That'd be great. That's the dream, mate.
All right, awesome, mate.
Thanks, mate. You have a good day.
No worries. Cheers, brother. See you, mate.
See you, mate.